I, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson, have been informed by Special Agent R.C. McGuire of the Naval Investigative Service that I am suspected of conspiracy to commit murder and conduct unbecoming United States Marine in the matter of Private William T. Santiago. I have also been advised that I have the right to remain silent and make no statement at all.
Any statement I do make can be used against me in a trial by court-martial or other judicial or administrative proceeding. I have the right to consult a lawyer prior to further questioning.
I am presently assigned to Rock Security Company Woodward, 2nd Platoon Delta NAP Base, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
I am a PFC in the United States Marine Corps assigned to Marine Rock Security Company Windward, 2nd Platoon Delta. I will have been in the Marine Corps 10 months as of August.
I entered Private Santiago's barracks room on the evening of 7 July at or about 2350. I was accompanied by PFC Loudon Downing.
I was accompanied by my squad leader, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson.
We tied his hands and feet with rope.
We tied Private Santiago's hands and feet with rope, and we forced a piece of cloth into his mouth.
We placed duct tape over his eyes and mouth.
I have read this two-page statement that Special Agent McGuire has prepared for me at my request. As we discussed its content, I have been allowed to make all changes and corrections, initializing those changes and corrections.
These statements are true and factual to the best of my knowledge.
Danny, you know what I just saw? Like, this lady from Captain Bronsky's office walking around the halls.
She's stealing things?
No.
What's the problem?
Danny, ordinarily when the office of the Judge Advocate General sends a lawyer around to talk with the lawyers, it means someone's screwed up.
Did you do something wrong?
No.
Sure.
I think so. I know, I've been tired of it, all right? Look, would you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, go ahead, what?
All right, if she mentions anything about my guy DeMattis, you know, the engineer, the one who was caught littering in the Admiral's tulip garden,
Yeah?
would you cover for me?
Sure.
Yeah?
Look, Sam, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, sure, no problem.
Dan,
Sam, wait for a plea bargain. I'm representing an ensign who bought and smoked $10 worth of oregano.
he thought it was doing.
Yeah, what's his defense?
His defense is I'm a schmuck.
Actually, I smoked some of it. It wasn't that bad.
You're not concerned?
Oh, come on. What's he going to be charged with? Possession of a condom?
Danny, I'm talking about
Sam,
team
my
bag.
softball team's playing Bethesda Medical tomorrow. I'll see you at lunch.
I'm Lieutenant Commander Joanne Galloway, sir.
Isaac Whitaker, come on in.
Thank you, Captain. I appreciate your seeing me on such short notice.
Bronsky said it was important. Something about reopening a case.
Yes, sir.
Well, Bronsky's an old friend.
He speaks very highly of you, sir.
Crapola.
Yes, sir.
I've seen you around here, haven't I? You work across the yard at Appellate.
My desk is at Appellate, but actually I work directly for the Office of the Judge Advocate General as a special investigator in internal affairs.
Of course, now I know how I know you. I've had your footprint tattooed to my behind any number of times.
I don't know that I'd put it quite that way, sir.
Well, you were the one who recycled those 14B misdemeanors last winter.
Yes, I believe that was me.
14B misdemeanors. Drunk and disorderly. We have them closed.
The blue copies of the charge sheet weren't filed to division with the IC1.
Who gives a damn?
There are rules, sir. I'm sure you understand.
You had these guys working Christmas Day, writing out charge sheets in longhand. Christmas Day, Commander.
It was in the interest of justice, sir.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, of course, Captain.
Are you here to bust anybody's ass?
Absolutely not. No, not at all. Only if necessary.
All right, then. What can I do for you?
I'd like to request a favor.
Oh, good luck.
2 prisoners are being held in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. They pleaded to murder 2, conspiracy to commit, and conduct unbecoming. I petitioned JAG to deny their guilty pleas.
What's the problem? Someone misspelled conspiracy?
No, sir. They confessed to murder at 3 in the morning at a 19-minute hearing without counsel. It's my sense that there's much more to this than what's written in the division report. Which brings me to my request.
Yes?
It's not so much a request as a recommendation.
Yes?
Well, I think the attorney assigned to this case should have a certain energy, a real go-getter, someone who possesses not only the legal skill, but a familiarity with the inner workings of the military, and a singular passion for justice. In short, Captain, if I may be so bold, I'd like to recommend myself.
Imagine my surprise.
I've brought a letter of recommendation from Captain Bronsky.
You work for TJAG. You're a special investigator. Why do you want to get mixed up in grunt work again?
I don't consider it grunt work, sir.
It's going to be a total plea bargain and a week of paperwork.
I would look forward to it with relish, sir.
Do you always talk like this?
I'm anxious to make a good impression.
Relax.
Yes, sir.
So you want to take on trial work again?
On with a vengeance.
Well, how many cases did you handle when you were with the department?
Altogether?
Yes.
6.
How'd you do?
From what perspective?
Your clients?
Not well.
Ah,
But those cases were lost on their merit, sir.
Sorry, Isaac, this just came for you.
thank you. This is Lieutenant Commander Galloway.
How do you do?
Really enjoy last Christmas.
That'll be all.
So what'd you say?
Commander, may I call you Joanne?
Yes, please, Joe.
Joe. You seem like a fairly harmless, neurotic person.
I appreciate that.
I'd like to help you out, but there's two things preventing it. The first is that despite your excellent credentials, it would appear that as a litigator you suck.
Yes, but I'm
The
sure...
second is that JAG already detailed a lawyer.
They did?
You must have convinced them this was pretty important. JAG never cares why I sign in this district.
Well, all right then.
Tough break. It was good talking to you. I'll see you around.
Captain,
Isaac,
Isaac, would you mind if I met with the attorney? Just for a few minutes.
we have a staff meeting at 3. I'll be handing out assignments then.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
And try not to make anybody nervous.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll see you then. Conference room 4.
Thank you, Isaac. Isaac,
Joe,
what's the name of the attorney?
Daniel Cap.
10 hot, officer on deck!
Giving you a lawyer. We're moving you up to Washington, D.C., and they're going to give you a lawyer who's going to ask you some questions. Now, I want you to remember something about these lawyers. They don't care about anything. They don't care about honor or loyalty. They don't care about the United States Marine Corps. They don't even care about you. They're clowns. That's why, so help me God, they are the only ones who can save you right now. I want you boys to be smart. Talk to the lawyer.
I just settled for the OTH. It's his 4th UA. You're not going to do any better than that.
That's all.
At ease.
Well, what about a motion to suppress?
On what ground?
Grounds?
See, this is where your strategy begins to fall apart.
Take the OTH. Thanks, Dave.
Sorry I'm late.
Well, I'm sure you have a good excuse.
Not really, I just didn't care enough about this meeting to show up on time.
He's kidding. Commander Galloway, this is Lieutenant Cap.
Hey, how you doing?
You're a JG? I wrote a 17-page memo petitioning division, and they assigned a junior grade.
Yeah.
Did I miss something?
Commander Galloway's from TJ.
Oh, whatever Sam did, it wasn't his fault. He's been tired lately.
Thanks so much.
Sam's expecting his little girl to say her first words any day now.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
She just looks like she has something to say.
She's 14 months old. What does she have to say?
Hey, we got a pool going on in the office. $10, you pick a word off the grid.
Well, what's left?
Rosebud.
I'll pass. Cappy, this is yours. It's been detailed by Jag.
Detail to do what?
Detailed to handle this. Everybody listen up. Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. A PFC named William Santiago writes a letter to his senator claiming to know the name of a Marine on the base who illegally fired a round from his weapon over the fence line. Santiago ends the letter by saying he wants to transfer off the base in exchange for the identity of the felon.
What's a fence line?
Sam?
Oh, it's a big wall separating the good guys from the bad guys.
Teacher's pet.
Gentlemen.
Santiago says he'll reveal some guy's name. Do we know who?
Yeah, Lance Corporal Harold Dawson, his squad leader.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Dawson, by the way, claims it wasn't an illegal shooting, that he was engaged at his post by a Cuban sentry and was returning fire. The fence line shooting, however, is absolutely beside the point.
What's the point?
Santiago's dead.
What happened?
Dawson and another member of the squad, a PFC, wound him down and break into Santiago's room, tie him up, and stick a rag down his throat. You can see on page 5, the attending physician says the rag was treated with some kind of toxin.
They poisoned the rat?
Not according to them.
Well, what did they say?
Not much. Commander Galloway looked at their statements and had them recycled. They'll be brought up here to Washington in the morning, and on Thursday at 0600, you'll catch a transport down to Cuba for the day to see what you can see. You'll report to the barracks CO, Lieutenant Colonel Nathan Jessup. Know anything about him?
Sure.
Golden boy of the Corps. He's the youngest colonel in the North American Command. He's got his eyes set on the National Security Council.
Thank you, Commander. If Jessup's got anything good to say about the defendants, it'll help. Any questions?
Sir, was that at 0600 in the morning?
Excuse me.
Yes.
Lieutenant Pappy, have you ever been in a courtroom?
Commander.
Joe.
Joe, if this goes to court, they don't need a lawyer, they'll need a priest.
No, they'll need a lawyer.
Isaac, I gotta say for the record, this is the least amount of fun I've ever had in one of your staff meetings.
There are 2 defendants. Jag only assigned them 1 attorney.
Yeah, well, there are sworn confessions. I'm sure Pappy can handle the plea bargain himself. He's closed 39 cases in 6 months.
Yeah, one more and I'm gonna set a statement.
It just seems to me that 6 months down the line, appellate's going to look at this and open it up again on the grounds of insufficient representation.
No offense taken if you're wondering.
Having one attorney represent both defendants might look strange to an unusually thorough investigator.
This is Janet's assignment, not mine.
Actually, you have the authority to appoint co-counsel.
Joe, it's an open and shut case.
I think
It's not-
Christmas is a time when people should be with their loved ones. Don't you, Captain?
Sam,
Me?
work with Kathy on this.
Doing what?
Doing various administrative, things. 6-second chair.
In other words, I have no responsibilities whatsoever.
Right.
What kind of case?
The two of you listen to me. This is important. You've got some leverage on this, but not a lot.
What kind of leverage?
Well, this letter that Santiago wrote, it wasn't the first.
In fact, it was the 12th. He put in for transfer 6 times in 8 months. No one was listening. This last letter was just a last-ditch effort.
Thank you, Commander.
Joe.
Do we still have the letter?
Yes.
Am I right in assuming that they don't paint a flattering picture of Marine Corps life at Guantanamo Bay?
That's right.
Am I also right assuming that if the letters as well as the assault were kept as quiet as possible, that the government would feel predisposed to offer a degree of leniency to the client?
Right again.
State nicely.
All right, look, don't get cute down there. The Marines in Guantanamo are fanatical
Oh, wow.
Dear Senator,
about being Marines. Moving on.
my name is POC William T. Santiago. I'm a Marine stationed at Marine Barracks, Wentworth, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. I'm writing to inform you of my problems here and task for recovery. Wednesday, May 18th, we're out on PT runs. I've fallen back on runs before for several reasons, such as feeling dizzy or nauseated. And on the 18th, we're out on runs and I've fallen back about 20 or 30 feet down a rocky, unstable hill. My sergeant deliberately grabbed me and threw me down the hill. All I saw was black, and the last thing I remember was hitting the deck. They brought me to the hospital, where I was told I merely had heat exhaustion, but was explained by my doctor that my body had trouble with the hot sun and I hyperventilate. I was put on remedial physical training and was punished by having to feel sandbags every day after I stand my post. That's cleared up. Please, sir, I just need to be transferred out of the RSC.
Sir, Captain Marks and Lieutenant Kendrick to see you.
Thank you, Tom.
Good morning, Colonel.
Matthew, John, have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Gumball?
No, thank you.
John, Gumball?
Thank you, sir.
1,000 hours. It's already hot enough out there to melt the brass right off your collar. I just had a Navy guy in here a minute ago telling me I was lucky after all. This is a dry heat. Dry heat? It's 107 degrees outside. How am I supposed to feel about it? Matthew, you've been here the longest. Is this about as hot as it gets, or am I actually trapped in hell?
This is about the hottest it's been since maybe 84, Colonel.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
84 was bad, was it?
Well, it got up to 119.
Papering half in smoke and half in fire. Shakespeare. No, sir. Moby Dick. John, when I quote Melville, you don't have to nod your head up and down like you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to regard you as less of a man because you're not well read.
Thank you, sir.
I mean that.
Thank you.
Sure you want to have a gumball?
Yes.
119 Fahrenheit.
Yes, sir.
I bet you had Marines passing out right and left.
Not at all. Men were all right.
Is that right? Nobody passed out, no dehydration, no dizziness?
Not that I recall.
Impressive.
Yes, sir.
You know why those Marines didn't pass out back in 84, Jonathan? Even though it was 119 degrees by Captain Markinson's reckoning, you know why they stayed on the job?
No, sir. Why?
Because that's what they're fucking trained to do! Who in the fuck is PFC William T. Santiago?
Dude,
Ma'am, permission to speak.
Go ahead.
I got some Spider-Mans and some Batmans sitting in my footlocker, ma'am. Somebody will dog them for sure if they're not secured, ma'am.
Do you think this is a joke?
Ma'am, no ma'am.
How are you, Corporal? Is this a joke?
No, ma'am, it's not a joke, ma'am.
I apologize to the commander, ma'am. I certainly didn't mean nothing. About the books, ma'am. I didn't mean nothing.
You read your Article 31 rights. Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Say you understand them.
Ma'am, I understand them, ma'am.
Can I get an MP? Corporal Dawson, I'm going to talk to Private Downey alone for a minute.
Yes, ma'am.
Aye, madam.
Would you take Corporal Dawson into a holding room, please?
Let's go. Hey!
Ma'am, permission to be dismissed.
Dismissed. Hi. It says in here your only living relative over the age of 18 is Jimmy Miller. Your aunt on your mother's side? Is that correct? Jimmy Miller?
Yes, ma'am.
She hasn't been contacted yet. Would you like me to do that for you? Right. I'll just take care of that. Private, do you know why you're here?
Ma'am, this is where the guard told me to stand.
Loudon. May I call you Loudon?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know where you are? Do you know why you've been arrested?
Willie died, ma'am.
Why? Was it an accident or did you mean to do it?
Ma'am,
Why did you want to hurt Santiago?
it was a code red, ma'am.
What's a code red? Loudon!
I don't need those comic books, ma'am. You can have them if you like, ma'am.
What's the code red?
Ma'am, permission to speak.
Sure.
Are you my lawyer, ma'am?
No. I am a lawyer, but I won't be representing you.
Ma'am, Captain Markinson told us to talk to our lawyer, ma'am. But that's what he told us to do.
All right, man on first, one down, let's go for two. Lift you up your shirt. Oh, come on, Sherby. Get your glove down. Pick up some dirt with that ball. All right, let's do it again. Man on first, one down, let's go for two.
Excuse
Hold on
me.
1 second. Come on, Sherby, you gotta trust me. If you keep your eyes on the ball while it's coming towards you, your chances of catching it increase by a factor of 10. You want to suit up? We need all the help we can get.
No, thank you. I don't throw and catch things.
That's too bad.
I wanted to talk to you about Corporal Dawson and PFC Downey.
These names sound like they should mean something to me, but it's just not sinking in.
Harold Dawson and Loudon Downey.
Wait, one more.
Dawson Downey, your clients?
Dawson and Downey, the Cuban thing. My damn, for a minute there. Lance Corporal Dawson. Right.
And PFC Downey.
Right. Sorry, I forgot your name.
Lieutenant Commander Joanne Galloway.
I've done something wrong, haven't I?
Yes. I was wondering why two guys have been in jail since this morning while their attorney is outside hitting a ball.
We need to practice.
That wasn't funny.
It's a little fun.
Have you read the IC1?
You mean like actually read it?
No, I mean have you read it in the abstract?
No, it's on my desk, but it's very close to the top of the pile.
Lieutenant, would you feel very insulted if I recommended to your supervisor that he assign different counsel?
Why?
Well, I'm not sure how to say this without possibly hurting your feelings, but I don't think you're fit to handle this defense.
You don't even know me. Usually it takes someone several hours to figure out that I'm not fit to handle the defense. Come on, that was damn funny.
I do know you. I know you went to Harvard Law on a Navy scholarship, and you're probably just treading water for the 3 years you've got to serve. Just lying low until you can get out and get a real job. And that's fine, I won't tell anyone. But my feeling is that if you handle this case in the same fast food, slick-ass, Persian bazaar manner with which you seem to handle everything else, something's gonna get missed. And I wouldn't be doing my duty if I allowed Dawson and Downey to spend more hours in prison than necessary because their attorney had predetermined the path of least resistance.
Commander, sexually aroused. I'm not kidding.
I don't think your clients murdered anyone.
Yeah, well, we're just gonna have to take your word for it, huh?
I mean, I don't think there was any intent.
And you're basing this on what?
Instinct.
Instinct? The doctor's report says that Santiago died of asphyxiation brought on by an acute lactic acidosis, and that the nature of the acidosis strongly suggests poisoning. Now, I don't even know what the hell any of that means, but it sounds pretty bad.
The doctor is wrong.
What a relief! I was afraid I was going to be able to use the liar pants on fire things.
Good one. That was funny.
Yeah, thank you. Look, rest assured, I'm completely on top of the situation at Dawson and Downey.
Downey.
Down.
Right. I'll speak with your supervisor.
You go right ahead. You go right up to Pennsylvania Avenue. It's the big white house with pillars in front. You can't miss it.
Thanks.
I don't think you'll have much luck, though.
Why not?
I was detailed by Jag, remember? Someone over there is under the impression I'm a pretty good lawyer. So while I appreciate and admire your enthusiasm, trust me, I'm completely on top of this situation.
Do you know what a code red is?
No?
I'm appalled, sir.
What a pity.
You're appalled.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's pretty strong language, Matthew. I mean, cool off before you work yourself into a ladder. You're appalled? Santiago breaks the chain of command, reports to a civilian organization, tells tales on another Marine, another member of his unit, another member of his squad, for Christ's sake. What the hell's going on over at Windward, Matthew?
Colonel, perhaps this is a conversation that we'd better held in private.
Are you suggesting that the fault lies with Lieutenant Kendrick?
Executive Office Windward is one of the most stressful positions in this hemisphere. Nobody knows that better than I do. Lieutenant Kendrick here doesn't have half the experience it takes to command that wall.
I beg your pardon. I will not take the blame for Private Santiago.
I'm not talking about Private Santiago. I'm talking about Private Santiago and Private Barnes, and Corporal McNally, and Corporal Eastman, and Gunnery Sergeant Hughes. You are doing something wrong, Lieutenant.
My methods of leadership what brought me to this base.
Don't you interrupt me. I am still your superior officer.
And I am yours, Matthew.
Colonel, I suggested it before and I will suggest it again. Move Lieutenant Kendrick here to the leeward side of the base, where there is an ocean between our perimeter and the enemy. Let him cut his teeth there. And for Christ's sake, transfer Santiago out of here before he gets his ass kicked.
Transfer Santiago.
Right away. Now, sir.
Yeah? Yeah, I suppose you're right. I suppose that's the thing to do. Wait, I've got a better idea. Why don't we transfer the whole squad off the base? We better do that. On second thought, Windward. The whole Windward division. Let's transfer them off the base. John, you go get those boys down off the fence. They're packing their bags. Tom?
Yes, sir.
Give me the president on the phone. We're surrendering our position in Cuba. Wait a minute, Tom. Maybe that's a mistake. Maybe that's the wrong thing to do. Maybe we should consider this for a second. Maybe, instead of surrendering the fight because a Marine made a mistake, maybe we should train Santiago. What do you think? And I'm just spitballing here, but maybe we as officers have a responsibility to this country to see to it that the men charged with its security are trained professionals. Maybe we have a responsibility to other members of the Corps. Yes, you see, I'm certain I once read something like that. See, and now I'm trying to think about how I'd feel if a Marine got hurt or killed because a PFC in my command didn't know what the fuck he was doing. And I'm trying to think about how other Marines might feel putting their lives in the hands of men that they can't count on. And this brief meditation has brought me around to the thinking that your suggestion of transferring Santiago, while expeditious and certainly painless, might not be, in a manner of speaking, the American way. Kendrick stays at Windward. Santiago stays on the wall.
Colonel, that is a mistake. This Santiago situation is not going to go away all by itself.
Tom, thank you. That's all I've got for you. You're dismissed. Matthew, I believe I will have that word alone Why don't you and I have dinner at the Oak Club tonight, 1930?
It sounds wonderful, sir.
Thank you, that's all. Matt, sit, please.
Thank you.
So what do you think of Kendall?
He's a good man.
Yeah, I think he's kind of a weasel myself.
Yes, sir.
But he's an awfully good officer. And in the end, we see eye to eye on the most efficient way to run a Marine Corps unit. We're in the business of saving lives, Matthew. With every degree that we allow ourselves to move off the mark of perfection as officers, more people die. That's a responsibility that I take pretty seriously, because I absolutely believe that simply taking a Marine who's not yet up to the job and packing him off to another assignment is the same as sending a kid into the jungle with a weapon that backfires. Matthew, sit down. I'm younger than you are, Matthew. And if that's a source of tension or embarrassment for you, well, I don't give a shit. I'm in the business of saving lives, Captain Markinson. Don't ever question my orders in front of another officer.
Officer Objected, Hunt!
Who?
Sir! Lieutenant Corporal Harold W. Nelson, sir!
Someone hasn't been working and playing well with others, huh, Howard?
Yes, sir!
Sir, private first class, Loudon Downey, sir.
I'm Daniel Caffey, I'm your attorney. This is Sam Weinberg. He's from the A.C. Nielsen Company. He's going to talk to you about your preferences in the Caribbean Command. You guys can have a seat. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
You call me sir. Is this your signature?
Sir, yes, sir.
So you don't have to do it twice in one sentence. Do you guys like baseball?
Sir.
Look, you don't have to call me sir. I was just asking if you like baseball.
Sir.
What's a code red?
Sir, a code red is a disciplinary engagement.
These disciplinary engagements, do they occur often?
Yes, sir.
What's a garden variety code red?
Sir.
How would you say sir and I turn around and look for my father? It's Daniel, Dan, Kathy. So this can be fun, it doesn't have to be unpleasant. Okay, garden variety, typical. What's a basic code red?
Sir, a Marine has refused to bathe on a regular basis. The men in his squad will give him a GI shower.
What's that?
Scrub brushes, Brillo pads, steel wool.
Beautiful.
The attack on Santiago, was that a disciplinary engagement?
Yes, sir.
You ever talk?
Lieutenant, Private Dowling will answer any direct questions you ask him, sir.
What? Great. All right, it says in the report you denied putting poison on the rat. What was it you were going to do?
Sir,
What was this code red?
we were going to shave his hair, sir. We were just going to shave his hair.
And all of a sudden,
We saw blood dripping out of his mouth. We pulled the tape off his mouth and pulled the gag out, sir.
you saw more blood.
All down his face, sir. That's when Corporal Dawson called in the ambulance.
So was he calling the ambulance?
No, sir.
You there when the ambulance arrived?
Yes, sir. That's when we were taken under arrest.
Listen, I'm going to tell you guys something called attorney-client privilege. It means you can say anything you want to us in here, and we can't repeat it without your permission. It's against the law. We took an oath. Sam took the oath also.
Well, I have figures.
Sam.
I took the oath.
So I want you to tell us. I need for you to tell us. Did you assault Santiago with the intent of killing him?
No, sir.
What was your intent?
To give Private Santiago a code red, sir.
Why was that?
To train him, sir.
Training to do what?
Train him to think of his unit before himself, sir. Train him to respect the code.
And what's the code?
Unit, Corps, God, Country.
Beg your pardon?
Unit, Corps, God, Country.
That's what you're supposed to fight.
Sam, what's the matter? What they're supposed to fight for?
Mine?
Unit, Corps, God, Country, sir. That's our code.
Right.
Look, we'll be back. You guys need anything more paper, books, cigarettes, ham sandwich?
Sir, no thank you, sir.
Listen, there's a concept that I think you need to start warming up to.
Sir.
I'm the only friend you got.
Yeah.
Smiling Jack Ross.
Welcome to the big time.
Yeah, well, don't flatter yourself.
Well, for Dawson and Downey sake, you're a better lawyer than you are a softball player.
Well, unfortunately, for Dawson and Downey, I don't do anything better than I play softball. What are we talking about?
All right. Your boys plead to manslaughter.
I'll drop the conspiracy and the conduct unbecoming. They get 20, home and 12.
Jack, they called the ambulance.
I don't care if they called the Avon lady. They killed a Marine.
Says who?
The doctor says he's pretty sure.
Yeah, well, that's a funny conclusion to reach, finding that no poison showed up in the autopsy report.
Are you a doctor?
No, I'm not a doctor. But it shouldn't be hard to round some up. It'll only take me 4 to 6 weeks. In the meantime, I'll just move for postponement. How's that?
Don't fuck around, Mr. Danny. I can recommend 11.
You know what a code red is?
Where do you get this shit? Gomer Pyle?
Marine steps out of line. His room's a little messy. His hair's a little long. He breaks the chain of command and informs on another Marine. Apparently, it's up to his squad mates to give him a little punishment.
Involuntary, 11
They
years.
shove him around. They push him. They throw him in the shower. They scrub him down with steel wool.
I can't go lower than
You know,
involuntary.
tell me, from a public relations standpoint, what's the worst part about this case? That these code reds go on all the time and no one ever reports them? Or there was a Puerto Rican that got killed.
Code red. Involuntary, 8 to 10.
28. 7 and parole in 28 months.
You gotta be kidding me.
Extra, extra, read all about it!
You're not intimidating me, pal of mine.
Really, I thought it was working.
Tell you what. You want 7 years? I need more on code reds.
I'm going down to Cuba tomorrow. I'm going to bring back a statement from Miss Jessica. It's going to tell you everything you ever wanted to know about the subject. In the meantime, I'd like for you to recommend 7 years. And I will plead to aggravated assault, and I'll use what influence I can to convince my guys not to sell the movie rights. I say something funny, Jack?
We'll talk when you get back.
We have a deal?
Work for it.
Jack, do we have a deal?
You don't know it yet, pal, but you're going to school tomorrow.
Hi.
Come on in.
Thank you.
Any luck getting me replaced?
No, I spoke to a half dozen people at division. Is there anyone in this command that you don't either drink or play softball with?
Listen, Joe, I don't have any inbred hostility towards you. I really don't. But if you ever talk to one of my clients again, I'll have you disbarred.
I had authorization.
You had authorization from where?
Downey's closest living relative, Jenny Miller, his aunt on his mother's side. I thought, sure, it might be unethical, but as long as it wasn't illegal, what the hell?
You had authorization from Aunt Jean.
I just gave her a call. I thought she might be concerned. Perfectly within my province.
You got authorization from Aunt Jean.
You know what she said?
Does Aunt Jean have a barn? I know, maybe we could have trial there. I could sell the costumes and her Uncle Luther could be the judge.
She said she's positive there's been some mistake. I'll get out of your way now.
Thank you.
Was your father alive, Kathy?
Yeah,
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
I've studied, all of his. I think he was one of the best trial lawyers ever. I've read everything he's written. A lot.
Yeah, me too.
Right. Right. You know what's odd?
What's
At 1:30, almost an hour after Santiago dies, the doctor, Commander Stone, couldn't determine the cause of death. But 4 hours later, he said it was poison.
I see what you mean.
Do you?
Yeah, it had to be Colonel Mustard with a candlestick.
Kathy, somewhere between 1:30 and 5:30, someone met with the doctor and told him to say it was poison. Someone coerced the doctor.
Someone coerced the doctor? Do you work with a Ouija board?
I'm going down to Cuba with you tomorrow.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am. I called my office. They're sending me on an observation and evaluation field trip. Isn't that great?
Is this what you meant by staying out of my way?
She's asleep now. When Laura gets back, you're my witness. The baby spoke. My daughter, she said her first word.
She made a sound, I wouldn't say it was a word.
Oh, come on. It was a word.
Okay.
Hey, you heard her. The girl sat there, she pointed, and she said, Pa. She did. She said, Pa.
She was pointing at a doorknob.
That's right. Pointing as if to say, look, Pa, a doorknob.
Sam, why did 2 guys with the intent of killing someone call an ambulance when they see blood?
Why does anybody do anything?
No, that's not good enough.
It's good enough for me.
It's not for me. Why do they call an ambulance when they see blood?
You say it.
Look, they said they called an ambulance.
They panic.
Well, I don't know about Downey, but Dawson's never panicked about anything in his life.
I think the clients are lucky you're lead counsel.
You led the hammer.
I'd serve them up to division with a fucking cherry on top.
Thank you, Judge, for defense. Good night.
Remember to bring your whites. It gets hot down there.
I don't look good in my whites.
Nobody looks good in whites, but we're going to Cuba in July. You got your Dramamine?
Dramamine keeps you cool?
Dramamine keeps you from throwing up. You get sick when you fly.
I get sick when I fly because I'm afraid of slamming into a big-ass mountain. I don't think Dramamine's going to help.
I got some oregano here. That works pretty well.
Sam, you know, the only piece of evidence linking them to the crime is their presence at the scene. They stood there and waited for the MPs to show up.
Ask them what they're supposed to fight for.
Sam, they stood there and waited to be arrested.
Of course they did. These two men have a fierce sense of honor. Dinner! Sir, Corporal Dunn, Alpha Squad present, sir! Sir, Corporal Thomas, Bravo's present, sir!
Sir, Colonel Hamilton, Charlie Squad, present, sir!
Sir, last Corporal Dawson, Delta Squad's present, last 2. Report! PLC Santiago and PLC County, sir!
Private Santiago has been excused from this meeting. Where is Downey?
Private Downey ran over the switch, sir. His jeep blew out. He and Pickup are making it back by foot.
Pass on my words to Private Downey.
Yes, sir.
Revelation 2. I know thy works and thy labor, and how thou canst not bear them which are evil. And thou hast tried them which say they are apostles, and hast found them to be liars. You're a PFC. You got a problem. Who do you take that problem to? Sir, you're corporal, sir! You're a corporal. You got a problem. Who do you take that problem to? Sir, you're sergeant, sir! Private Santiago of Delta Squad has laid waste our priorities and made wretched our code. Priorities! Unit Corps, God, country! Code! Unit Corps, God, country! Priorities! Unit Corps, God, country! Code! Unit Corps, God, country! Come down! Sir! How about you and your men of Alpha? You think you can show our private how to be right? Sir, yes, sir! Anybody in Alpha goes near him, he'll answer to me. Is that clear? Sir! Is that clear? Sir, yes, sir! Dismissed! Cortez! Sir! How about I turn Private Santiago to you and your boys of Bravo? I bet I turn him over to you and he's a Marine by sunrise. Am I right? Sir, yes, sir! Bravo touches him, and you'll be fed in sandbags till you beg for mercy. Is that clear? Sir, yes, sir! Dismissed! Corporal, sir! I have 2 things to say to you. First is that I believe in my heart that you and the men of Charlie are outstanding Marines. The second is that the United States maintains a military installation in the Arctic Circle, and that you and the men of Charlie will be scraping icicles off of igloos if you so much as look funny at the private. Is that clear?
Yes, sir!
No, Code Reds, is that clear?
Sir, yes, sir!
No, Code Reds, is that clear?
Sir, yes, sir!
No, Code Reds, is that clear?
Sir, yes, sir!
Dismissed! Last Corporal Dawson!
This is my job, Colonel, okay? It's my responsibility. I've got to train you to be right. You're a Marine, you've got honor. You can't make mistakes, Private. You don't make mistakes. Not while you're in my squad. The Corps helps those who help themselves.
You're lucky it's us, Willie. Could be worse. Could be somebody else.
Lieutenant's Cafe, Weinberg.
Galloway!
Corporal Howard, ma'am. I'm the escort you to the women's Alpha base.
Thank you.
I got some camo jackets from Jeep Service on National Road Number 1.
Camouflage jackets.
Yes, sir. Regulations. We're right pretty close to the fence. Cubans see an officer in white, they might want to take a shot at you.
Good call, Sam.
Jeep's right over here, ma'am. Looks like on the ferry if either of you.
Everybody on the boat.
Yes, sir. To get to the other side of the bay.
We didn't see anything about the boat.
Is there a problem, sir?
No, there's no problem. Just not gonna find the boats, that's all.
Jesus Christ, Captain, you're in the Navy for crying out loud. Want to get a hold of yourself?
No one likes her very much.
Yes, sir.
Nathan Jesse, come on in and sit down.
Daniel Cappy, Commander Joanne Galloway, she's observing and
Please,
evaluating.
Commander, have a
And
seat.
Sam Weinberg, he has absolutely no responsibilities whatsoever.
I've asked Captain Markins and Lieutenant Kendrick to join us. Matthews, the company commander. Johnson's the XO for the Windward side. Gentlemen, meet Lieutenants Cappy and Wino.
Oh, that's
and this
Weinberg.
is Commander Galloway.
How do you do?
Lieutenant Cappy, I had the pleasure of meeting your father once. I was a teenager and spoke at my high school.
Wino, Cappy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Jiminy goddamn Christmas. Now, Jonathan, you're too young to remember this, but this man's father once made quite a few enemies down in your neck of the woods. That was Jefferson versus Madison County School District. Folks down there said a little Negro boy couldn't go to an all-white school. Lionel Caffey said, we'll see about that. How the hell is your dad?
I'm sorry, sir.
Is he still trying to overthrow the government?
No, sir, not any longer.
Oh, geez, don't tell me he passed away.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm sorry, son.
No, sir, that's okay. It was 7 years ago.
Oh, well, don't I feel like the fucking asshole?
No, no, sir, not at all.
Well, what can we do for you, Danny?
Actually, Colonel, quite a bit. One letter from you or one of your officers could go a long way in reducing the boys' sentences.
A letter saying what?
Saying that these code reds are custom practice on the base, and Dawson and Downey, otherwise exceptional Marines, were just simply disciplining one on their own when an accident occurred.
I have some tragic news for you, Danny.
What's that, sir?
You made the long trek to Cuba for nothing.
Actually, Colonel, I think if you give me 10 minutes of your time, I can persuade you.
John, check your watch. Go.
Dear Senator, I have written to you before on my problems with my unit here in Cuba. I am threatened or picked on almost every day. They write me up on charges of malingering and say I'm making believe I'm sick. I fainted during a run the other day, and when I asked them at the hospital, they paid no attention. A friend of mine told me to keep quiet because they're looking for any little detail to write me up on. I do not want to be a part of any unit or organization that endangers the lives of their men simply by training. Please, help me resolve this problem. Or, if I could call you, sir, I could explain things a lot better.
Danny, this was no code red.
Well, sir, I really think that's...
No, Danny, I'm sorry. I really, really am. But Lieutenant Kendrick specifically told the men not to give Santiago a code red.
When was this?
7 July, 1600 hours.
We had a meeting here, and then Lieutenant Kendrick spoke with 2nd Platoon.
We anticipated the code red and we tried to prevent it.
Code reds are a privilege. Code reds are for those worth the time. Santiago was a weak link and he was dangerous. He wasn't worth the time. And the men knew I felt that way.
How would they know that, Colonel?
Because as soon as I saw the letter, I ordered his immediate transfer off the base.
Santiago was about to be transferred?
At 0200 that morning. 2 hours too late as it turned out, because at midnight your 2 clients came in, stuck a rag soaked with antifreeze down his throat.
Sir, well, the boys say there was no poison on the rag.
Joanne.
The doctor says there was.
Look, sir, do you still have a copy of that report?
Right here.
Did I hold on to that?
Now what's that supposed to mean?
I'm sorry, sir.
I mean, how am I supposed to feel about that?
Oh, jeez, I didn't mean
course
to...
you did.
No, sir, it's just a matter...
You know, I was feeling pretty friendly toward you and your team of lawyers. Until mistrust reared its ugly
Sir,
head.
I assure you, mistrust was the
Of course,
first...
you can have a copy of the transfer. I'm here to help in any way I can.
Thank you, sir.
You believe that, don't you, Danny? That I'm here to help in any way I can?
Of course.
I have 3 copies of that transfer order, and you're more than welcome to have them.
Thank
But you have to ask me nicely.
I beg your pardon?
You have to ask me nicely.
Sir, can I?
What the hell kind of garbage
Joanne!
nonsense is this? We don't work for you, Colonel. We're investigating a crime.
No, we're not investigating a crime.
You seem a trifle perturbed, Joanne. How about a gumball?
Oh, no, thank you, sir. I wonder if I might ask you a question.
Joanne, no.
Name it.
Between 1:30 and 5:30 on the morning of the 8th, did you meet with Dr. Stone?
Commander, the Colonel doesn't have to answer that.
Of course he does.
No, he really doesn't.
Yeah, he really does. Colonel?
It just sunk in. It just sunk in. She outranks it. She outranks you.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to tell you something, and listen up. You are the luckiest man in the world. There is, believe me, gentlemen, nothing sexier under heaven and earth than a woman you have to salute in the morning. Promote them all, I say, because this is true. If you've never gotten a blowjob from a superior officer, then you're letting the best of life just pass you by.
Did you consult with the doctor that night?
See, my problem is this. I'm a lieutenant colonel. I'll just have to keep taking cold showers till they elect some gal president.
I need an answer to my question, Colonel.
You'll get an answer.
I need it now, sir.
You just take caution in your tone, lamb chop. I'm a fair guy, but this fucking heat's making me absolutely crazy. Yes, of course I had a meeting with the doctor. One of my men was dead.
Thank you, sir.
Listen, sir, we'll get out of your hair in just a moment. I just need a piece of paper or something saying that Santiago died by an accident during a code red.
Lieutenant Captain, hey, one thing to say. Captain Santiago did not die because of a code red. He died because he had no honor. He died because he had no code. And the Lord was watching.
You believe that theory?
I don't like people.
Look at this, another Christmas card I'm not going to
Get the hell out of here, both of you! Leave!
I apologize.
Go.
Please excuse us.
Joanne, how's about I shut my eyes and pretend I'm just a chief petty officer? You still got an hour to kill before your plane leaves. What do you say?
What would I do with the other 59 minutes, Colonel?
Listen, Colonel. However you may feel about the value these code reds or the intent of my clients, the fact of the matter is, on the night of the 7th, none of this looks very good to the outside world. Now I can't detain you or charge you with a crime. But on the slow news day, I sure as hell could piss on your National Security Council seat. So what I'm saying is this, Colonel. Why don't you let me be your lawyer? Let me draft up a statement, keeping you safe. In the meantime, my guys catch a break and everyone's happy.
Danny? Did I just hear you threaten me?
No, sir. I was just laying out a possible option, that's all.
I don't think so. I think I heard you threaten me. I think you thought you were going to waltz in here and flash a badge and that was going to mean something. I eat breakfast 70 yards away from 3,000 Cubans who are trained to kill me. Danny, believe this. I'd kill you. I'd kill anybody in this room. I'd kill anybody to protect what I'm paid to protect. Go home, Danny. Back behind the lines. Go home where your white uniform won't get you killed. Give in to what I'm saying. You believe every word of it. Lieutenant Kendrick.
10 minutes.
Meeting's over, Navy. Anchors away. Oh, Danny boy. Transfer order.
Keep it.
So I believe in God and His Son Jesus Christ. Yeah, well, let's just get that gun out of your hands then, buddy.
What'd he say?
Nothing.
What do you mean, nothing?
He didn't say anything, okay?
Will he give you a statement?
No, I'll figure something else out.
Hey, excuse me, sir. These are your security tags to fly back. They got your flight code.
Thank you.
Yep, it's an AF-40 transport. It doesn't have any windows, but it flies.
That'll be fine.
It doesn't have any windows, but it gets you there.
Yeah, AF-40 will be fine, thanks.
You better keep them tags secure so you don't want to lose them. The boys out the strip like passing Navy people now and again when they get the shot.
Why? What do we ever do to them?
Well, nothing, sir. The Navy's been great, sir. Every time we gotta go someplace at night, you boys always give us a ride.
Yeah, go get the jeep.
Yes, sir. I'll be back 2 weeks.
All right. This is Joey. I made a joke the other day about being sexually aroused. I'm sorry, it was rude and unprofessional.
Bet your ass, Sugar Bear.
You observed, you evaluated, it's over. Tomorrow morning there'll be a rain, and if I can bring something up real fast. Get it aggravated assault, and that's the end.
You boys always give us a ride.
Wonder how long it took them to come up with that.
Christ, I hate this place.
First thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers.
Yeah, what is Shakespeare?
Got it. I hate casualties, Matthew. A Marine smothers a grenade, saves his platoon, that Marine's doing his job. The foundation of this base, the fabric of the unit, the spirit of the Corps, these things are worth fighting for. And there's no one who doesn't know that who's ever made the choice to put on the uniform. I hate casualties, Matthew. Dawson and Downey are smothering a grenade.
All the same, Colonel, if I were you, I'd get myself a good lawyer.
Officer on deck, 10 hot!
Why is she there?
true,
But
sir.
Private, the lieutenant didn't ask for an opinion.
What's true? Why did you
It
care?
was a code red, sir.
Yeah, so?
I'm his squad leader, sir. It was
Not you, him. Why did you care?
Sir, Private
No,
Santiago.
no. I don't want to hear about your loyalty, and I don't want to hear about your dumbass code of honor. Why did you care?
Sir, Private Santiago broke.
Did you hear what I just said?
Sir, he needed to learn.
Why did you care?
We have a responsibility, sir.
Bullshit! Why did you care?
Because God was watching.
What did Kendrick say to you?
God is watching, Lance Corporal Dawson, and he helps those who help themselves. And so do I. Get your house in order, so that these men can believe in you again. Unit, code, God, country. Duty to self simply isn't part of the equation. Get your house in order, so that the Lord our God can look down upon you and say, there is the United States Marine, and I will stand at his side. Get your house in order! Would you like me to tell you what to do now?
Sir, yes, sir!
You were given an order.
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Kendrick gave you an order to use Santiago Code Red.
Yes, sir.
Tell me why you never told me that before.
You didn't ask us, sir.
You know what? Cutie pie shit's not gonna win you a place in my heart. Harold, I get paid no matter how much time you spend in jail.
Yes, sir. I know you do, sir.
Fuck you. Here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna swear out a deposition against Kendrick, saying he ordered the Code Red. If you do, I think I can get you a good deal. I think I can get you 6 months. Wow, Captain! That's the greatest lawyer in the world. How can we ever thank you? Fellas, did you hear what I just said? You're gonna be home in 6 months.
Sir, permission to speak.
Speak!
Begging the lieutenant's pardon.
What?
I'm afraid we can't do that, sir.
Can you what?
Make a deal. I'm afraid I can't say that Lieutenant Kendrick ordered the code red.
Are you telling the truth about the order?
Yes, sir.
But you won't say so in a written statement?
Not so we can make a deal. I'm afraid
Yeah,
not.
well, whoopee do shit. You turn over government evidence. The best I can get you is 7 years.
That's fine, sir.
That's not fine, you pompous asshole. I'll give you 6 months.
What do we do then, sir?
When?
After 6 months. What do we do after 6 months? We didn't join because we felt like it. We joined because it was a life decision. We wanted to live by a code, sir. We found it in the Corps. And now you're asking me to sign a piece of paper that says we have no honor. We have no code. You're asking us to say we're not Marines. We're being tested if we fail. I'm asking you, sir, with all due respect to the lieutenant's bars, what do we do after 6 months?
You guys are a freak show.
What'd they say?
Follow me around 24 hours a day?
Markinson resigned his commission.
What?
Captain Markinson resigned his commission.
When?
Tonight, after we left.
Well, I'll find him tomorrow.
I already tried, I can't find him. What'd they say?
You know, Joe, this really comes under the head and none of your business.
Actually, I'm not a Dennis attorney. Aunt Jenny, she feels like she's known me for years. She said she would feel very comfortable if I were directly involved with the case. Loudon signed his papers an hour ago. I would appreciate it, by the way, if you didn't speak to my client without my permission. But since you did, what'd they say?
You know, you make me nervous, Joanne. I'm involved in a situation where the stakes could be higher. I don't have time to give criminal tutorial in criminal procedure.
That was a nice speech. What'd they say?
You talk, Kendrick gave him an order.
So what do we do now?
We find Jack Ross.
Ask the rest of the guys who went to the meeting. Look, I don't have Alpha, Bravo, Charlie. They all say the same thing. Kendrick told them not to touch Santiago.
They're lying, Jack. He dismissed the platoon. Talk to Kendrick.
I talked to Kendrick. He denies everything.
You already talked to Kendrick?
Joanne?
Why did you think there was anything to
I
deny?
had a suspicion.
Joanne!
You had a suspicion and you chose not to share it with anyone?
It was just a suspicion.
You're in violation of about 14 articles of the Code of Ethics.
This is Joanne Galloway. She's very pleased to meet you.
Ebenezer Galloway.
Yeah, she's Downey's attorney.
And you were about 30 seconds away from a felony evidence tampering charge.
You want to charge me with something?
How long were you going to keep this information to yourself?
You want to charge me with something?
You asked him how I was getting his
Joanne,
information. 12,
give me
24,
a
72 hours before we even know what he's up to.
You want to charge me with something?
Hey, can we just settle
No,
down?
please, charge me with something.
Hey, in the interest of justice, everybody take a big knee bend.
had a meeting with Second Lieutenant. He told them what Santiago had done. And he told them specifically that they were not to give him a code red. At Kendrick's deposition and the deposition of every man at that meeting.
Oh, come on, Jack, he's lying!
I think you're right. I think he's lying. But so what? Neither one of us can prove anything.
I'm not so sure about that. Why does a Marine captain resign after 21 years of service?
We'll never know.
You don't think I can subpoena Markinson?
You can try. Do you know what Markinson did for the first 16 of his 21 years in the Marines? CIC, Danny. Counterintelligence. Markinson's gone. There is no Markinson. Look. RSC is an effective unit. And Jessup Star is on the rise. They'll only bend over backwards to save that base and the Corps any embarrassment. So here it is. Aggravated assault, 7 years. All in all, it's not a bad week's work for the defense.
He's bluffing. He's got a PR problem and he can't afford to go
Commander,
to
every time you open your mouth, you're taking years off your client's life. Now shut up!
No,
Sorry.
she's absolutely right. I can't afford to go to court. Lucky for you, honey. You're turning green just thinking about it. No, going to court would be bad for me. It'd be bad for the Corps, and I get blamed. But if you go to court, your boys go away for 30 years. No, are we clear on that, Danny? We've got to be clear on that. We step into a courtroom, you lose.
Jack.
Once we leave this room, I have to go all the way. It's murder. I'm in charge of boys with murder. Listen, I'm the judge advocate. I'm telling you that your boys don't belong in jail. But I don't get to make that decision. I represent the people, you see, without passion. The people have a case. If you could give me statements, your boys would do 6 months. No statement, 7 years. And you listen to one word that that woman says, your boys won't see the light of day until they are 59 years old. This negotiation is over. From now on, we're on the record. I'll see you tomorrow, 9:45 through 8.
Can I speak now?
No, I'm not going to talk to Dawson anymore. He won't take the deal. He doesn't even like me. He's going to go to jail just to spite me, so my job's done.
I'm not talking about a deal.
You know, I'm not going to have this conversation with you.
Sam,
It's an unwinnable case. Let's just take the 7 years and run. It's a gift.
It's not a gift. I won those 7 years.
keep telling yourself that.
You know, what do you want from me?
Why are you so afraid to be a lawyer? Were Daddy's expectations really that
Hey.
high?
You know what? You want to take me down that road? You go right ahead.
Oh, go to hell! Go to hell for saying that when you know I need Dawson and you know I need you. They think they were right. So let them be judged. Don't make the deal, make the argument. Tell Dawson you want to plead not guilty. Tell Dawson you're going to make his argument for him.
An argument that didn't work for Cali at Malai and an argument that didn't work for the Nazis at Nuremberg.
For Christ's sake, Sam, do you really think this is the same as 2 teenage Marines executing a routine order that they never thought would result in harm? I don't represent the Nazis, and they're not really my problem tonight, okay?
That's right. So what are you going to do? Danny?
Look, I'm sorry, but Jack's right. In a courtroom, we lose this case.
That's not
No, I can't risk what we have.
But you know they're right.
I know the law.
You know nothing about the law. You're a used car salesman, Daniel. You're an ambulance chaser with a brain. You're nothing. Live with that.
Oh, God. Sam, what does a junior grade with 6 months experience and a track record for plea bargaining get detailed a murder case? Is it so we'll never see the inside of a courtroom? So they got you guys in separate cells now, huh?
Yes, sir.
Hey, hear a joke? Did you hear about the Japanese pilot who hated jazz? Bob Probaby. Yeah, man, I was 99% sure you were gonna laugh at that.
No, thank you, sir. Do you think we were right, sir?
Doesn't matter.
You're my lawyer. You need to tell me if I broke the law.
It's not a matter of right.
Yes, it is. It always is. That's something people like you say, but it is. If you were wrong, tell me. I'll accept that. But if you're right, I won't make a deal.
What do you mean?
Do you think we're guilty?
I think you're police.
You are such a coward. Can't believe they let you wear a uniform.
Oh! You don't remember what there's nothing I can do about it. I can do it for 6 months. You go to Leavenworth for 7 years and there ain't a damn thing I can do about it. In peace! What happened to saluting an officer when you leave the room?
Stand up!
All right, where are we?
Docket number 411275, BR-5. United States versus Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson and Private First Class Loudon Downey. Defendants are being charged with conspiracy to commit murder, murder in the second degree, and conduct unbecoming a United States Marine.
For the defense?
Cappy, Lieutenant Junior Grade Daniel Abernathy, United States Naval Reserve. Judge Advocates General Corps sworn and certified in accordance with the Articles 42A and 42B of the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
Does the defense wish to enter a plea at this time?
Yeah. They're not guilty.
Enter a plea of not guilty for the defendants. Will adjourn until 1000 hours, 1 week from today, at which time this court will reconvene as a general court martial. I see both counsel in my chambers now.
Turn up! Dismissed.
Say, boys.
Yes, sir.
Don't say yes, sir, like I just asked you to clean the latrine. You're not in the Marines anymore. You're in jail. Get some sleep and don't talk to me. You're dismissed. So this is what the inside of a courtroom looks like, huh?